What is up, you guys? Welcome to the Connect 0007 podcast, and I am your host, Thaddeus Sims. I am super excited to share on this Tuesday. I love really sharing the podcast. I get excited like a little kid when it comes to Tuesday, we're going to do a podcast. And I just can't wait to share with you guys. It's always really cool. So this is the 13th episode, and this title is Pride. Now, before getting into the podcast, just want to let some of you guys know, if you don't know already, the t-shirts are available on the website. I will leave the link to the website in the description. And just in case the link is weird, it's KONNEKT 0007.com. You can check the website out. It's super simple. Look at a few shirts. A lot of people have been loving the new berry color, so you want to check that out. Now, obviously, before I get into this, I have to share my fun fact. So, Apollo 17 astronaut Gene Cernan wrote his daughter's initials on the surface of the moon. The initials TDC are still there and likely will be for tens of thousands of years. Now, if I was his daughter, I would totally own that and rock that. I would let everybody know, my name, my initials is on the moon. Who else does that? Who else has that? I would have pictures and stuff like that. I would love it, to be honest with you. I'd really be owning it. But that's just me. Because, who else you know? Who else, daddy, done went up there and then wrote their initials on there? That's love right there. That's love. But going into this with this particular podcast, this results from a post that I posted on Facebook and Instagram. And the question on there was, what are some of the struggles that you may go through when it comes to connecting with people? And from a good relative of mine, they told me that their struggle was the inability of simply saying, I can't do it or no because of pride. Now, for this, I really had to get out of my world and step into theirs and really see and feel how they experience this. See, what it is that they go through and feel it, just like what that would feel like. And not just from them, there's other people who have this same struggle. And I really wanted to look at it into their eyes as well and really just kind of tap into their world and just see what it is. Now, in addition to doing that, I really had to look at the definition of pride, and I'm sharing it with you because I feel as though, I don't think I'm the only one, but when I hear of pride, I've always just heard it in a negative context. I've always just heard it in many just different things. And also to someone who loves anime like myself, I always think of Dragon Ball Z, the pride of Vegeta, Saiyan pride, blah, blah, blah. But it's just let me actually educate myself for a minute and let's see what the definition of pride is. And what it is, it's a feeling or deep pleasure or satisfaction derived from one's own achievements, the achievements of those with whom one is closely associated, or from qualities or possessions that are widely admired. Now, that actually changed my perspective a lot on pride. And it was just okay, so this is the actual meaning of it. Interesting. Now, tying the definition in with, what the relative and other friends that I've, had to, again, step into their world to see, it changed the game for me. So first thing when it comes to this struggle is that you want to have a self-talk with yourself. And everything, I believe every podcast I say, you're going to always want to have that self-talk, that come to whatever your name is. So in my particular case, a come to Thaddeus moment, and you're going to want to have an honest, talk with yourself. And that honest talk, the subject about that is going to be just simply allowing yourself to set boundaries when you know it wouldn't be in your best ability to do something for someone when you're at your limit. And I feel like that is where the source of the struggle comes from with the pride in that particular area of connecting with someone, is just really just when you're trying to do something for someone and you're at your limit and it's a struggle, or you may not be at your limit and it's just, you have a hard time saying no to that person. So what you want to do in this self-talk is really, however you talk to yourself, hopefully, it ain't crazy. But if you crazy and that works for you, by all means do it. But, you want to have that talk like, hey, I'm allowing myself to do this. So for me, how I would talk to myself, in a serious situation, it's like, okay, hey, Thad, like for real. I'm struggling with saying no. Like, it's really hard for me to say no. And I might say, I've been dealing with this for forever, but I'm sorry, y'all, but I cussed to myself. It's a sentence enhancement for me. So you may look at it as cussing. It just enhances the sentence for me. So for me, it's just like, okay, Thad, you need to get this shit together. Like, you need to come on. Let's get this. Like, so for me, honestly talking, I would just say, Thad, for real, we need to work on this shit, because I can't be doing this and struggling over here saying no, and they over here living hunky dory, and I'm over here like dying in the inside. Like, no, bitch, we're not gonna do this. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to allow myself to set some type of boundary. I need to, because something needs to change. Like this, I can't do this. So I'm gonna have to set some type of boundary, because I can't do this all the time. And then I'm like, you know what, that you're right. You're really right. We gonna do this. I don't know how we gonna do this, but we gonna do this in some way. I may think I'm crazy, but I'm for real. This is like talks I actually have with myself, like to myself in the car or in the house by myself. You know what I mean? You just can't do this in front of people, because, they're gonna be like, oh, you weird. And then they're gonna interrupt that conversation with yourself. It's just like, bruh, I'm having a deep conversation with myself and you over here judging me. Because you do it too, but you judging me. You throwing me off from getting that guidance that I need from myself. You know what I mean? Like, you rude. So the thing is with that pride, looking into what I've observed from those who have this struggle, is that your pride may be in full effect when it comes to close family members, close friends, or someone you genuinely care about or just like. Am I right? And that struggle of not being able to say no is feelings of, maybe pressure, and or just not wanting to let that person down, while knowing, this is the tricky part, while knowing when you do whatever it is, you'll feel satisfied, right? You'll feel good. Like, I want to say no because I really want to go sit down and play Kingdom Hearts, 3, the new game that came out. I really want to do this, but this person asked me for this favor and I really want to say no. I kind of want to be an ass, but you know what? I know if I say no, it's going to bother me. You know what I mean? It's going to hurt my pride. But if I do it, I'll feel good. God damn it. All right, I'm going to do it. Okay. You want to go exercise in a day? Sure, we can go do it. All right, fine. You know what I mean? And then after you're done, he's like, I did it with them. Okay. But then you come home, it's like, dang, I gotta take a shower. And then I gotta eat. I didn't have time for my game. So now I gotta go to work. So it's like, this is just me. This is how I would take it. And it's just like, okay, I need to work on this. I need to set this boundary. I just need to say no. Because if I would have said no, I would have been able to sit down in my chair, in my robe, with my water, and playing Kingdom Hearts 3. And I would have been so happy. But no, I couldn't say no. And therefore, I decided to go with this person. But you know what? I felt good. I'm gonna suck it up, and then you keep doing that. And it's just like, no, bro, we need to stop this. Something needs to change. So let's try to get to that point of like getting to saying no, right? So we already had that talk. I already talked to myself like, hey, bro, we need to set some boundaries here. We need to work on that. So we did that. I agreed with Thaddeus to. We're going to set some boundaries. I did that part in the mind, and now we're going to get to the part of saying no is let's set these boundaries. Getting to that is, okay, what I'm going to do, we're going to set these boundaries and we're going to communicate. That is a big word. It's a big word. Communicate. And a simple example of just setting those boundaries and communicating is, hey, I can't do this now, or simply I can't do it because, hey, I pride myself on completing things, and knowing I can't while also saying yes will add pressure to me and leading that person to being let down or me feeling bad and that hurting my pride. So just in case you didn't understand that, because I may have said that pretty fast, it's just like communicate, I can't do this now, and or simply just saying I can't do it because, you actually might be going through something, or there may be a bunch of other stuff. Like I may say, I really want to play my game, but the reason why I want to play my game is because I really just kind of need to take a break and just kind of de-stress from the day, just communicate that. People understand I can't do this now because I have this, that I need to knock out. And if I try to do that now, and I know it's not going to be the best, I'm going to be letting you down, and it's going to hurt my pride because I could have done this better, Actually be genuine with yourself, and that person, and let them know. And then just, hey, and if you just can't do it, you can say now, you may can do it later. And if it's possible that you can do it later and it's not a lot of pressure on you and, it's not going to throw you off and throw you out of center, by all means, tell them you just can't do it now. And then if you can't just do it, period, hey, I can't do it. You know what I mean? Because of so-and-so. Now, some people you don't need to tell them why. You know what I mean? Some people you don't really care for. You don't need to tell them why. But those you do care about, communicate to them, and they'll understand hey, I just can't do it because, whatever it may be for you. Now, for me, it was my game, but for you, it may be something serious. You might actually need to just sit down and rest. God dang it, because you've been working all day, or you have a bunch of other stuff on your plate. You just need a moment to de-stress, or you just can't do it today for whatever reason. And let them know, genuinely, I just can't do this because me trying to do it, I'm going to add unnecessary pressure to myself. And also, I'm just going to let you down. And that's going to hurt your pride. And that's okay. Be real about it. You know what I mean? We just went over the definition of pride, that deep satisfaction or that pleasure of that achievement. And if you can't achieve it, it's going to hurt your pride. Let's just be honest. Now, I'm going to be real with you. This going to take practice and you're going to be uncomfortable. You really are. But you're going to want to start small. You know what I mean? I gave you a few examples there, but you'd really want to start small when it comes to this because you've been so used to saying yes, 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 yes. But you want to have that talk with yourself again. That self-talk is really important. That's the first key. And allow yourself, hey, let me allow myself to do this and set these boundaries. If I can do it, I can do it. If I can't, I can't. You'd have that talk with yourself in your head. Be honest. You be wanting to say no, but you don't. But if it's really important what you're doing, or what you have to do, that person will understand when you communicate it, to that person. Because people may, especially when it's your close friends and family, they're going to be like, why, and don't look at that as a disrespect. But, y'all are close and it's just well, hey, it's blah, 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 blah. Because of this, because of that. And they'll legit understand. I have this with a close relative of mine. But we just blunt with each other. So he may say, hey, bruh, I need you to do me a favor for me. And I'll simply just start off, I don't like you like that right now. I just don't like you right now. And, he threatens me. And I'm just like, well, you just gonna be mad. But I don't like you right now. But give me about an hour and a half, or when the sun gets down, or when 3 dogs down the street starts barking, then I may like you to do this favor. Just me being honest. It might be some dogs barking down the street. And if they don't, oh well, I just don't like him that day. And I do hear the dogs, I might like him. Or something may happen. And I'm just gonna say it. I don't like you. So I ain't finna do it right now. But hey, if I do like you later, my people will be in touch with your people and we'll do it. We'll get mad, but he'll tell me whatever it is, and I may do it later or not. But you communicate, you be honest. And that's just what works, And I also have some relatives, now the ones I can't joke with like that. I have some relatives where they may say, hey, I need you to do this for me. And I'm like, hey, I really can't right now because I have some business, or I may have a meeting or this, that, and the other. And if I was to say yes, then I would add so much pressure to myself, which isn't fair to myself, number one. and to the other people, other parties involved, because I wouldn't have done it at the best of my ability. And, yes, I would want them to be happy, but, and I want to feel good that I helped them. But if I genuinely can't do it and it's going to be at the disservice to others, then, you have to look at that perspective too, of not just like, there we go. That's a perspective that you have to look at. Like, yes, the pride part, you're going to get that achievement, but if you can't like do it and you try to do it and it's gonna be a disservice to not just yourself but to other people, then that's when you're gonna want to like not let your, like they say, don't let your pride get in the way, like, or in other words, don't let that wanting for that satisfaction or that pleasure for that achievement get in the way, because it's not going to be the best for you and the parties involved. So you want to look at that and make the best decision logically. Hey, I can't do this now. So honestly, that is pretty much that for yourself. Like, honestly, I want to say you want to use your pride in your favor, because you literally just take pride in yourself. And it feels good when you achieve something within your boundaries. So I feel like those boundaries are going to play a big part in yourself. And when you use that pride in your favor, knowing like, hey, these are in my boundaries, you know what? I can do it. I'm going to feel good when I do this. Why not? But if it's not in your boundaries, communicate, So I really hope that helped you and everyone else who can take this information from this particular podcast. And if they want to share with other people, by all means, yeah. Because there's a lot of people we all hear say, I just can't say no. I feel blah, blah, blah. And I've met some people in the beginning, like way before this, when people said, oh, I just can't say no. I looked at them like they were aliens. I'm like, what you mean you can't say no? You better just say no. Tell that person you can't do it. I don't, because it's just going to kill me inside. I'm like, I think you're going to be alive. I think the heart's still going to beat a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't think you're going to take nothing if you say no. So you might still be here. I think you're still going to be here for Monday for your shift, But hey, now looking into this further, I understand. So that being said, I hope this helps. I want to say thank you again, guys, for listening. I appreciate you all so much. The podcast has been growing. I've also have been seeing a lot of you like share the podcast and been listening to it while some of you are at work, or telling me that you shared it with certain family members or friends. So I greatly appreciate that. And I love the feedback I've been getting as well. And I also want to thank, the people for who've been checking out the shirts and who've been getting them. I love that as well. That's been really cool. And some of the pictures you've been taking. So with that being said, I cannot wait to share with you guys next Tuesday. You all have a fantastic day today. And you're just amazing. So that being said, I will talk to you all soon. Later.